I'm so happy to be here with you all. We're continuing on the 5-session series all about helping you craft breakthroughs right now. Where is your revenue? Last month, what did you bring in? What did you bring in last year? Write down those numbers. How many customers do you serve? How many products are you selling? Think about it on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. How many customers are you serving? How many products or services are you getting out there? If you're a consulting business or a service business, how many visits or how many projects or how many hours are you delivering? What is your scale currently? And what about your profit? So, what kind of profit are you bringing in each month, each year? What's the gross profit and what's the final net profit? And then, how much are you reinvesting into the business and how much are you, the founder, bringing home? What about what's the impact you're bringing to customers? How many customers have you served and helped improve? What are the improvements that they are making? What is the impact that you're bringing to your community? How do you measure impact? Today, we're talking about how you can increase wherever you are. So, wherever you are, what if you doubled it this year? Doubled your revenue, doubled your customers, doubled your profit, doubled your impact. Right now, what would that look like for you to double it this year? What if in the process of doubling, you trained yourself and your team on how to cultivate breakthroughs? You'll get the results. You'll double your revenue, double your profit, double your customers, double your average revenue per customer. And as you do it, learn how to do it every year going forward so that you can really create a perpetual exponential growth machine in your business. That's what we're here to talk about. That's the Force for Good system, elevated way to lead your company so that it has a culture of breakthrough. Today, we're going to continue on our 5-step journey, and I'm going to bring up my slide. Here they are. Wonderful. Every year you're in business is an opportunity to stage a breakthrough. If you've been on the breakthrough calls with me, you know that this is true. Today, we're talking about breakthroughs. Every year we can stage a massive breakthrough. Here we are in the 5-part series. First, we chose the breakthrough. Then we had the architecture of breakthrough and the 5 growth mindsets. Your breakthrough superpower. Today, we are unleashing breakthrough by choosing 2 dominoes. And then on the 29th, the secret ritual of breakthrough. Today's objectives. First, we're going to focus on your 12-month breakthrough goals. If you don't already have one, we're going to quickly choose one. We're going to leverage the 5 growth mindset. Covered that in series number 2, but we're going to bring them forward again because we're going to talk about them in the context of how to create and choose your dominoes. Then we're going to do a SWOT analysis to help you identify your 2 dominoes, your number 1 constraint and your number 1 accelerator. Focus on your 12-month break. What is your breakthrough? It could be one of those revenue goals. It could be a profit goal. It could be the number of customers. What would be meaningful to you? What would be a meaningful improvement in terms of impact, scale, profit? Pick one. Which goal at the end of 25 has you sitting on December 31st, 25, celebrating, feeling enriched, fulfilled, stretched, and satisfied, knowing that you put your all in and you were successful? What would help you feel more confident as a leader, more empowered and strengthened as a company? What would you and your team most love to create? So this is where we're looking for resonance. We're looking for a goal that would align with the real desires and purpose of you, your business, and your team. What is the breakthrough? A breakthrough is the significant and sudden advance. It appears to be sudden, but often it is created through a breakthrough process like we're learning now. And it's an unlocking of a new possibility. If you doubled your revenue this year, or you doubled your profit this year, or you doubled the impact, this would unlock a whole other downstream level of positive effects. It will help you embrace a new way of thinking, feeling, believing, and operating so that you know you can set goals and you can achieve them. It would also help you lean into your strengths. It would help you see yourself and your company as a culture of breakthrough. So it would have the 4 and after states. Where you are and how you feel now is different than after a breakthrough. There's transformation that occurs, inner and outer. Not only will you achieve real world results in a breakthrough, but you'll feel different. You'll feel more empowered. You'll feel stretched. You'll feel ready for the next. Go ahead and write down your 12-month breakthrough. The one thing that would make all the difference would change absolutely everything. Write down your 12-month breakthrough and circle it on your page so that surrounds it with intention and purpose and power, knowing that you and your team can achieve this specific, measurable, achievable, resonant, time-bound goal in the next 12 months. That brings us to the next objective. We've got our goal. Now we're going to leverage the 5 growth mindsets. So focus on that goal, and we're going to walk through these mindsets quickly. Part of what we're trying to get through today is seeking out your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're also looking for the thing that is most constraining your breakthrough. We're looking for the thing that could most accelerate your breakthrough. As we go through the mindsets, understand that this is the context we're thinking about. Growth is a puzzle you can solve. The question is, are you focusing on the right puzzle? Do you know what the right puzzle is to solve? That's what we're trying to figure out today. What's the accelerator and what's the constraint? These are 2 puzzles that if you identify in detail what they are, you can really unleash growth. Anytime you use this growth mindset, growth is a puzzle you can solve by asking 3 questions. First, what do I need to know? What do I need to change? And then what do I need to do? Remember that as we're thinking about constraints and accelerators, strengths and weakness, what do I need to change? What do I need to do? We're helping you figure out how one breakthrough can make all the difference when you hone down into a goal that is specific, and then you have a constraint and an accelerator that is specific. You can start to use these questions. What do I need to know? What do I need to change? What do I need to do? And then you can apply mindset 2, which is sequential puzzles propel growth. There is a sequence to growing a company. There's a sequence to gaining traction. Where are you in that sequence? And where is your breakthrough in that sequence? Which goal would be the one to focus on? Here is where you can look at where you are in your stages. The Force for Good stage assessment will help you see where you are in the process of getting to a scale. When you take that assessment, you're going to identify some areas of strength and weakness. You're going to identify some areas of constraint and acceleration. Going to a forceforgood.biz/breakthrough-tool. When you do, you're going to find this great stage assessment. It'll help you start to dig into which puzzles are helping you propel growth. You'll also find this traction assessment, and this is going to help you see process. So this is a sequence, right? First, you want to discover who your customer is and what they need, and then develop MVP or a minimum viable product. And then we'll take that product out and validate that you can get a customer to buy it on some frequency. You want to see if you can get it to happen on an ongoing basis. So there's really product market fit. When you find that customer, they really see the value. So it's important to see that if you don't first have your customer discovery and you're going straight to product market fit, you're going to miss some steps along the way. So first you need to have that customer's discovery phase, and then you need to have the minimum viable product stage, and you need to know where you are. So you know which breakthrough to have. When you know where the breakthrough is, then you can say, what's accelerating me? What's constraining me? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How do I push this forward? You can take the action assessment, which you can get at a forceforgood.biz/breakthrough-tools. They're listed there for you for free. You can get the whole Force for Good toolkit, which is over 100 tools. You can get that by buying the book at forceforgood.biz/book. But here you'll find all these assessments for free. The next growth milestone mindset, which is growth requires change. Growth requires change. In order to create a new result, we have to create change. Whatever results you're creating right now is part of your current business operating system. In order to get new, consistent results, let's say bring in 5 new customers a month using your current operations. Well, if I wanted to bring in 10 new customers, every single month and have to change something in the way that our operating system works. So, what is that change? What is that breakthrough? What's going to push that breakthrough forward? We always look at the systems, people, processes, actions, competencies, narratives, ideas, beliefs, constraints, accelerators, possibilities that are creating our current results. And what would have to change when we look at the hamster wheel in order to produce the desired result? In the context of your 12-month breakthrough, what needs to change? Look at not just the top level, think also about what new action, what new narrative, what's getting in the way? What are people complaining about? What are the excuses stopping people? Those are constraints. What is working well? What's helping you? What systems are really good? Which ones, if you improve or amplify and create a better result? The next mindset is growth requires measured improvement across times. We can't measure growth and progress unless we look at it on a consistent basis by numbers that represent the change. If we think we're really going to create a breakthrough, I like to measure certain things daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and the idea is to set up a series of rituals over time. Those rituals help you create breakthroughs across the many horizons of your business. When we think about your 12-month breakthrough, we have an annual retreat where you set your 12-month breakthrough. Your quarterly is the place where you'll see the progress you're making. The monthly dashboard, that's where you're going to focus on how you're making progress. The weekly and the daily are activities where you look at what's happening with your breakthrough and you're making small changes. What do I need to know? What do I need to change? What do I need to do? That's the whole subject of the weekly. The daily is really taking consistent action. Everybody on your team taking that consistent action. But if we don't know what our accelerators are, we don't know what our strengths and weaknesses are, we don't know what our number one constraints are, we're going to be taking actions that aren't necessarily generating results. If we're not measuring it, we won't know if it's working or not. The last mindset was what defines growth isn't always what you can't assume anything. Measurement tells the truth. How you think isn't always how others think. You want to think about the customer. You want to think about what's really happening. You want to measure results, taking those assumptions and flushing them into real metrics and data. This idea of what combines growth isn't always what you think. What's stopping you or your team from creating change? There could be internal fears, limiting beliefs, unconscious commitments, any result you're getting, the product of your current commitment. So if you need to create a new result, we need to look at the underlying commitments that are taking you away from what you want. What are the distractions? What are the misalignments? Where is there ambiguity? Everybody thinks they're going the same direction, but they're not. What's keeping people from bringing their best to the table? These are the questions we want to think about. What's combining growth isn't always what you think. Think about what underlying things could be stopping you from this breakthrough goal. What could be stopping your team from taking the action needed for this breakthrough goal? What are the accelerators? What are the things that people would love to believe in your company? What's the purpose, the values, the commitment that are aligned? What do people really care about? How could you boost those elements into your goals, rituals, and daily narrative? So those are the 5 growth mindsets. Growth is the puzzle you can solve. The puzzles propel growth. Growth requires change. Growth requires measured improvement across time. What confines growth isn't what you think. So now we move into our SWOT analysis. Today, the goal to identify who dominates. I want you to imagine you have a bunch of goals. Let's say you have 10 or 12 goals you want to achieve this year. Some of those goals are tactical and will help, but other goals will have a prolific effect. I like to think about it like dominoes. So when you make an improvement to something, what's the downstream positive impact that comes from it? Think of each goal as the domino, and behind it is a whole series of other dominoes that are positive outcomes. Some dominoes, when you line them up, are only going to, other dominoes are going to have 5, 10, 100, 1,000 dominoes behind it. You want to find the dominoes that are most prolific. The accelerator and the constraint will have the biggest result. Now we are looking at objective 3. We're going to talk about SWOT. So when you think about your 12-month breakthrough, think about the strengths, the weaknesses, and opportunities and threats related to that one breakthrough, not your whole company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's the difference between a general SWOT and a focused SWOT. We want to do the focused SWOT. So you're only thinking about the strengths that have to do with your goal. The purpose of a SWOT is to help you assemble a plan for how best to achieve your breakthrough goal. There are a million ways for your company to get from where you are right now, including today's revenue, number of customers, average revenue per customer, profitability, and impact. There's a million ways to get from here to where you want to be in 12 months. So the route that you want to choose on the path to your breakthrough will ideally lean into your strengths, minimize your weaknesses, seek out and amplify opportunities, and mitigate as many external threats as you possibly can. The skill of SWOT, and this is a skill that I encourage you to bring into your business, into various conversations at every level. Anytime you're trying to problem solve, you're trying to figure out what to do. So what do I need to know? What do I need to change? And what do I need to do? The SWOT is a great place to figure that out. Well, the skill of SWOT will help you see the best way forward. It will enunciate for you that your company is always operating at its highest and best abilities. There's some tools that are available to help you with this. There's the Force for Good Focus SWOT tool. It's a wisdom tool. It's a flavor, right? You fold down at the top of the paper and the date by which you want to complete it. Then you'd start listing your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, threats. You can use those Force for Good assessments, the stage assessment, the growth readiness assessment, and the traction assessment to help you identify where your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. We also have within the Force for Good system a customized business assessment that you can build within your company. And use these 3 and then use your team and your good ideas. Think of your breakthrough goal and then start to write down which 4 strengths will bring momentum to that goal. Which weaknesses are most constraining progress? What key opportunities could boost your goals? And what poses the greatest external threats to making progress? What are you concerned about? Where are the things happening in the external environment that you need to keep your eye on? You need to be able to get your eye on because in 12 months, you either reach your goal or you don't. You'll either have excuses or you'll have progress. As CEOs, as founders, as leaders, we're accountable for our results. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or the interest rates changes or AI it starts to change our markets. It's upon us to know that those threats exist and then be willing and able to pivot and do whatever we need to do. So the focus SWOT helps you do that. Use the stage assessment, the growth readiness assessment, and the traction assessment to help you see where your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. Okay? Now you've got your list of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Hopefully you're starting to get a sense of what's really constricting and accelerating your business. Hopefully you're starting to get a sense for this. 2 dominoes could make all the difference. So setting free your number 1 constraint and setting free your number 1 accelerator are your 2 big dominoes. Whatever's holding you back and whatever could accelerate you forward, those are your 2 big dominoes. And that's in relation to your 12-month breakthrough. Notice how we went from having a lot of goals to having one goal, the 12-month breakthrough. Now we're going further into that breakthrough. What are the puzzles within that goal that need to be solved. We want you to focus not on all the puzzles. We want you to focus on just two puzzles within that big goal. And that's the number one constraint and the number one accelerator. Start out with SWOT, your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, your threats. Think about all the assessments you took. And then you start to see how these two ideas of constraints and accelerators can propel your goal forward. Theory of constraint is a management philosophy developed by Dr. Eliyahu Goldratt. Any management system is limited in achieving more of its goals by a small number of constraints. So you could have 1,000 goals and usually only a couple of constraints that are actually the bottleneck. And this is good for us as leaders because it means we don't have to solve for everything all the time. What we need to do is look for the constraints that are holding us back. And usually there's only a few. So focus on identifying and managing the most limiting factors, which are your constraints, that stand in the way of achieving your 12-month goal. Primary premise here is that at any given time, there is only one constraint. What is the core constraint restricting your 12-month breakthrough? I like you to look at it using this questioning method, asking yourself, what is the number one thing holding back 12-month breakthrough goal? What's holding it back? Write it down. An example might be not enough customers. I don't have enough customers. That's the reason why we're not hitting our revenue targets or our profit targets. We're not even getting our impact. The second layer of constraint is when you ask the question, what specifically is holding that thing back? So this is the important question. We're going to keep repeating. What specifically is holding that thing back? So what specifically in this case is holding you back from not having enough customers? So then it means you have to go dig a little bit. You have to think, well, what is holding us back? What is it? An example might be after you dig in and find out, it might be that you don't have enough prospects, right? Not enough prospects. Then you ask the question again, what specifically is holding that thing back? What's holding you back from not enough prospects? Oh, well, it's just that we don't have enough opt-ins, not enough opt-ins. So now we went from not enough customers as our problem to not enough prospects as our problem to now it's the opt-in. That's the problem. That's our number one constraint. Because once we get them to the opt-in and we start having discovery calls with them, we convert them. But for some reason, that opt-in page isn't converting. So that's the puzzle. That's the puzzle we need to solve. That's the constraint. So not enough people who come to the opt-in page, sign up for the opt-in conversion rate is not working. So you're going to figure out how do I increase my conversion rate? How do I increase my conversion rate? Now you have a very clear puzzle to solve. Now, we also have accelerators in addition to the theory of constraints and the theory of accelerators. This is where you focus on identifying and managing the most highly leveraged strengths that you have. When you amplify those strengths, it will increase the ease and speed of achieving a goal. We want ease and speed. The primary premise is that at any given time, there is only one accelerator that, when amplified, will most dramatically hasten achievement of your 12-month goal. What is your core accelerator? That's the question. What core accelerator can foster the greatest positive influence on your 12-month breakthrough? So let's look through the example of selecting and identifying your core accelerator. What's the number one strength or opportunity that, if leveraged and amplified, would most dramatically help you achieve your goal? Let's say I've done my SWOT analysis and I see we're good at discovery meetings. When we have discovery meetings, things go well. Great. So we're discovering meetings. That's our overall growth amplifier. So then we ask the question, what amplifies this strength even more? What would amplify more discovery meetings? And we look at the data, we see what's happening. And then we discover that more discovery meetings are held within 24 hours of someone receiving our opt-in. So we say, oh, so there's not only we want more discovery, we want to do it faster. What amplifies the strength even more? Then you say, well, how could I make it even better? a discovery meeting held within 24 hours of someone receiving the opt-in. Then you might decide we could make this a powerful experience for this customer. We could improve the discovery meeting itself. So more discovery meetings held within 24 hours of someone receiving an opt-in using a new sales presentation format. We're going to create a new presentation that's even better than the one we're using. And make sure that the customer feels valued and appreciated. Their needs are addressed. And it's a no-brainer for them to say, yes, I'll take the next step with you. And then we ask the next question, what amplifies the streak even more? Make my discovery meeting within 24 hours with this incredible new sales presentation. Well, what would help our company more is if we did a lot more of them than what we're doing now. And what would it look like if we doubled or tripled or even quadrupled the number of discovery meetings performed within 24 hours of a prospect receiving an opt-in using a new improved format? So you could see how this one goal could be accelerated. See that breakthrough happen. This is how we identify our core accelerators. Now you've got a problem you can solve, right? So your two dominoes, one is your core constraint. That domino is solving for this core constraint. And what is the second one? It's your core accelerator, implementing whatever that core accelerator is. These become your two big dominoes. That's how you create breakthrough. Today, we focused on your 12-month breakthrough. Hopefully, you have a very clear picture of what the breakthrough is, what's going to make you feel confident, fulfilled, successful, actualized, what's going to help your company grow to that next level of revenue, impact, profit, scale. Then we reminded ourselves of the 5 growth mindsets and how we can use them with our breakthrough goal to help us identify our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and figure out which puzzles we should solve when. Then we identified our 2 dominoes, your number 1 constraint, your number 1 accelerator. We've made it through the first 4 of the series. There's 1 more in the series on the 29th, and that will, of course, be recorded. It will be stored on a forceforgood.biz/breakthrough-tool, and you'll be able to find all the tools there, all the recordings as you end the session today. Consider, what did you bring away with you? What are the learned? What is the action you would like to take? What can you do to be of highest and best service to your company today, this week, this month, and this year? And what are you starting to notice is possible for you as a CEO and a founder? How can you take your power back? How can you own your journey? Have an absolutely remarkable day and feel like a better place.